would not be joining us today, so hopefully nothing too serious there. With that, we have an agenda in front of us that just got a fresh copy, so if someone wants to make a motion for the agenda, Councillor Brewster.
I move to approve the agenda for Tuesday, February 3rd.
Thank you. Any questions on the agenda? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carried unanimously. Takes us to our minutes from January 13th. Councillor Rihanna.
Yep, I motion that we approve the minutes from our meeting on January 13th.
Did anyone see errors or omissions? Seeing none, all those in favor of the minutes? Again, that's carried. Moving right into our business for the day, item 5.1.
Good morning, Mayor Ramsey and Council. My name is Tracy McKinnon again. I'm here to present the Outpost Energy Tax Agreement request. So the report asks Council to consider entering a tax agreement payment plan with Outpost Energy to facilitate the collection of current tax arrears. Outpost Energy has requested this payment plan covering existing arrears and future levies through to December 2027. The request proposes monthly payments with no penalties applied during the period. Specific payment terms are outlined in the confidential attachment due to potential confidentiality. Section 340 of the MGA allows the council to authorize taxes to be paid by installment through an agreement, and council may approve this arrangement by a resolution. The total amount currently owed is $15,075.80, including $3,269.86 in penalties. The company has 2 tax rolls with a combined annual levies of approximately $9,700. Penalties are normally applied 6% 3 times a year, and approval would waive penalties during the agreement terms. So council considerations are the approval may be viewed as precedent setting, and similar requests could arise from other businesses or property owners requesting the same treatment. The alternatives today are to approve the agreement as requested, decline the request and provide alternative direction, and decline the request altogether. Recommendation of administration is to enter the tax agreement with Outpost Energy for a payment of current arrears over a 23-month payment period with no penalties assessed. I'm available to answer any questions.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for the report. Just a heads up, Ms. Rodwell, we're getting Teams notification. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Questions of the report? Anyone? Councillor Gerard.
Has there been any payments being made in the last 23 months at all?
Yes, there has been.
Councillor Brewster.
Could like how many, or could we get some more clarification on that? Or is that completely confident? I guess, are we allowed to ask that? Like,
You're allowed to do anything.
okay.
Through the CEO to mayor and council. So with their outstanding balance of approximately $16,000.
Mr. Graves, do you want to move in closed session to protect the third-party business interests?
Yes.
Okay, we would need a motion for that. Councillor Carly.
I motion to go into closed session at 9:34 a.m.
Motion to go in camera. All those in favor? Carried. And if it's easier, we can go next door too. I think they're for the next one. Nope. Sometimes it's in your best interest. Okay, I'm getting a nod from admin that things are back up and going. We left off with questions at Councillor Brewster. Do you have further questions, Councillor Hanson?
How long has Outpost Energy been working in the area, and have they tried to enter an agreement before?
Through the CAO to mayor and council, I have a printout from our financial system, and it goes back to 2019. I couldn't speak to whether the company had been there longer. But yeah, they've been doing business with us since 2019 on this tax roll.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor DePalm, further questions? Councillor Anna Hanson? Councillor Gerard, do you have more questions? I have one. Just for clarity, are the existing penalties being applied to this agreement, or are those being asked to be removed? I just didn't quite catch. I get the agreement moving forward would not have penalties, but are the existing ones applied?
Through the CAO to mayor and council, any of current incurred penalties are part of the agreement.
Okay,
it would just be the go forward penalties.
Okay, thanks for the clarity there. Okay, council, if there's no further questions, we would be looking for someone to make a motion at this time. Councillor Gerard?
I would motion to decline this request. I think it sets precedence, and I think we don't want to be opening up that book.
Okay. Okay, so motion to decline. We'll now open the floor up for debate and further comment. And Councillor Brewster, you're up next.
I mean, I think the big question is, do we want money now, or, take the risk of none at all? I do agree with Councillor Gerard in that this could be a very dangerous precedent to set. Director Graves, do you know how many agreements we have like this already?
Through the CAO to mayor and council, we currently have one active one. We've entertained 3 of them in the past, so one active one.
Councillor Carly Hanson?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence here. I do see why we wouldn't go through with this, but just, setting the president and having to deal with more of these down the line. But I also appreciate a group coming and attempting to make payments, to collect money. Money is good, and when making payment arrangements is them trying at least. So that's just my comment for right now.
Thank you. Councillor DePalm?
So I guess I won't support the motion to decline, whereas, yes, this is not ideal in reality. I do know we have done it in the past, and, it's hard to, we want everyone to pay on time and that. I guess, this is kind of their one shot if they do it. And when COVID happened, we did this for more than just oil companies at that time, is how we set that up. And so I guess going forward, if there was a problem, with something else, I would hope that you know, an agreement could be made, I guess, along the lines of this, because I would rather them pay this and be up to date going forward and stay up to date than getting nothing in, just sitting there occurring and causing massive paperwork and, you know, all the time that staff has to put in to try and collect this and that. So I know this is not ideal, but we have done it in the past. And like I said, we did it back during the COVID when that was going on for other businesses and that because of the time it was. So I can support it, and hopefully going forward, you know, if there is someone else with the situation, we have to look at it. We have to be fair to everybody. So I won't support the motion to decline at this time.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Rihanna Hansen.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one too. I think a lot of my thoughts have already been shared, but I think that given the balance amount and their willingness to move forward and just not collecting interest on the amount moving forward, I think I would be in support of. Sorry, I would not be in support of the motion. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, these are always tough ones, and we're kind of between a rock and a hard place. You know, on one hand, you know, we make an agreement that our residents and businesses would not get, and then the other option is to not receive any payment and potentially put ourselves at risk. And so it is frustrating where we're at with the province, and that goes on and on. But, you know, I view this one a little bit differently than some of the ones we've done in the past, as just with the size of the agreement. And I have trouble supporting these when our businesses and residents wouldn't get the same treatment. And so I've also heard of other municipalities that have been a little bit more firm on some of these, and it has, you know, sometimes the companies come forward and still pay because, you know, they need to be up to date to get new licenses too. So yeah, this is a tricky one, and I have trouble supporting these companies when they're in these situations. But again, if we don't, then we're taking a little bit of a risk. So I guess I leave that up to council. But Councillor Gerard, you can close. Yep.
So I guess my comments are we just wrote off 800,000 plus in tax arrears, and I don't feel that a payment plan was going to change much of that. I think that was still in the works. The companies made payments in the past. You know, I feel that I can appreciate Councillor DePalm's comment about during the COVID era that we supported companies. That was a totally different time than what it is right now. This is a company that makes revenue off of these projects. You know, our tax residents and our businesses, they won't get this type of treatment, and I don't think that we should be setting precedents for because it's an energy company and we are a bit bound, that we should be setting different monthly plans for them. You know, I think on the precedents we should be setting is that if you're going to do work in Red Deer County, you pay your taxes, and we all have to pay our taxes, and we have to pay them on time, or else we have to pay a penalty. And I don't think anyone else should be excluded from that. So I'm going to have to stand strong on my motion.
So with that, all those in favor of declining the request? Okay, so we have Councillor Gerard, Brewster, Hansen, and myself in favor. Those opposed? Councillor DePalm and Councillor Ryan Hansen opposed. So that motion is carried. Okay, moving into 5.2. Appears to be Miss Patterson.
Good morning. This is to consider the award of the contract for the 2026 to 2028 gravel loading and hauling contract. The gravel loading and hauling contract forms part of our annual capital re-gravel program. The previous contract was awarded in 2021 and recently expired. A new gravel loading and hauling tender was advertised publicly on December 2nd, and then it closed on the 29th. This was an evaluated tender based on the following criteria: price, directly related project experience, reference checks, equipment storage area and availability, equipment specifications, safety record, personnel and staffing levels. The evaluation team consisted of 3 members of administration. Each team member evaluated independently of each other, and then the scores were compiled to form the final results. The bid with the highest score after the evaluation was Howells Excavating Ltd. This is a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewal options. It's a unit rate contract, and expenditures are realized in the year of operation based on actual working hours and are billed monthly. It's approximately 16.7% higher than that awarded back in 2021, which reflects an average annual inflation rate of 3.3% over the last 5 years. Council's approval is required as per Red Deer County's purchasing policy number 2.007, which states that for goods and services over $1 million, they must receive approval from the county manager to proceed with a competitive public tender request, and the contract award must be approved by council. Planning is currently underway for the 2026 re-gravel program. However, at this time, it's projected that the current budget is sufficient with the new recommended rates. Therefore, no budget amendment is required at this time. As part of the agenda, this report has been shared online. The public can watch the video stream live and through recorded videos. And direction on this matter will be included in the meeting minutes, which are published online and summarized in the county news. The alternatives are to award the contract for gravel loading and hauling to Howells Excavating, change the project and re-tender, or deny administration's recommendation and provide direction. Our recommendation is that council approve the contract award for gravel loading and hauling to Howells Excavating Ltd. For the period of 2026 to 2028, with the possibility of 2 one-year extensions. Thank you.
Thank you for the report. Questions? Anyone want to start? Councillor Palm?
Thanks for the report. So I do have a couple questions. My first question would be, it's a 3-year contract with 2 possible 1-year renewal, I guess. So I guess my first question would be, why wouldn't it have just been a 5-year contract? And what would be the difference if the possibility for, and what would be after the 3 years, is there a reevaluation and that kind of thing that happens to continue with the 1-year contracts? I'm just a little confused as why it's this when there's 2.
Through the CAO to Mayor and Council, typically you would do a renewal option. Almost, I guess you could say it's kind of like an out. If a contractor is maybe not working out, or you're having issues on an annual basis, it kind of gives the opportunity to retender, or if perhaps there's a change in the market and you feel you could maybe get better pricing, you could retender. And so after the end of the 3 years, we have the option to go back to the contractor and negotiate new rates. And if both parties can agree to the new unit rates, then we do the renewals.
Okay, so I guess going forward to renewal, would the price go up then in 3 years then? Is that what you look at? Or would it be set at this current price that is now?
They would resubmit unit rates for the 2 renewal, each renewal at a time, because we would renew 1 year at a time. And there is a possibility that the unit rate could go up.
Okay. Okay, that's all I got for right now. Thanks.
Councillor Ryan Hansen?
I think I had similar thoughts to Dana DePalm. In the past, were these 5-year contracts? I know we're dealing with renewals, and we're kind of just learning about all the renewals that are coming up. And it seemed to me a lot of them were 5-year ones. So is this a change, or this is how this one's always been done?
Through the CAO to Mayor and Council, yes, the previous one was a 3-year contract with 2 one-year renewal options. Prior to that was the same.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Gerard, Councillor Brewster, Councillor Carly Hansen.
I don't know if I can ask this question, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyways. How many bids were there?
To the CAO, to Mayor and Council, there was three
altogether.
bidders. Yes.
Okay. And do the renewals come back to council? Like when they, for the pricing, does it come back to us because of the, or does, as long as it fits in the budget, it just stays with administration?
No, it doesn't come back. The approval would happen at this time. That's why it says with the possibility of the 2 one-year extensions.
Thank you.
And sorry, I just wanted to elaborate. With the term, the 3-year terms, they submit a unit rate for every calendar year. And so even if it was a 5-year contract without the renewals, they could still put an escalation on their unit rates for 5 years. Just to help clarify on how it is bid.
Okay. And so is this contract strictly for the re-gravel and hauling, or are there other provisions in the contract for other work?
Through the CAO to Mayor and Council, this also includes a provision for stockpiling, so for hauling gravel.
Okay. Yeah, I think that takes care of my questions. Again, I think at this time, if there's no further questions, we would be looking for a motion. Councillor Carly Hansen.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the contract award for gravel loading and hauling to Howells Excavating Limited for the period of 26 to 28. With the possibility of the 2 one-year extensions as well, with what you guys recommended.
Perfect. Thank you. Going around the room for comment or debate. Councillor Palm. Councillor Ryan Hansen. Councillor Gerard. Councillor Brewster. No, I appreciate the work on this. Yeah, I don't. The 3-year versus the 5-year, I don't know what's better. I in my mind, I think this kind of gives us a little bit more flexibility, and if things start to get out of whack, we can always go back to the market sooner for another tender. And I did like to see, I appreciate the question about multiple bidders. I think that's always good. That's we kind of rely on a competitive market, and hearing that it's kind of working within our current budget was also good to see as well. So all those in favor? Carried unanimously. With that, we need one more motion for this meeting, Council. Councillor Palm?
I would move to adjourn our council meeting at 10:06 a.m.
Perfect. Thank you. All those in favor? Carried unanimously. Okay, Council.